Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Abel Sanchez, and we're going to talk a little bit about this Brook versus Golovkin fight coming up on September 10th. Your guys' first fight over in the UK, in which you're fighting a undefeated champion in Kell Brook, who's moving up 2 weight classes to go ahead and challenge you guys. When you guys heard about the fight, were you guys kind of like in the mindset of, wait a second, is this guy for real? Does he really wants to move 2 weight classes and fight Gennady Golovkin?
Well, actually, it's the first fight for Gennady, but I've been there 4 or 5 times. I've had guys fight there. No, we weren't surprised because finally there's somebody that steps up and wants to fight. Eddie said, and from hearing from Tom that Eddie said that Kell agreed to it like within a couple hours. Was a pleasant thought. Shit, you got to be kidding me. Somebody actually wants to fight Golovkin and is signing a contract within a couple hours. So it was refreshing to hear that somebody wanted to step up.
With the other 2 that we thought were going to get fights, I'm referring to Canelo and Eubank. What do you make of the whole situation that happened with both those guys?
Well, first of all, Canelo, I thought was never going to fight us. At least not now, anyway. It may happen when Gennady's 60, but for right now, I didn't think he was going to fight us. Eubanks, I'm surprised. I thought I had seen all the ways to turn down a fight. His father found a new one. Eddie tried everything, according to Tom. The deal was such a good deal that Kell Brook took the same deal within a couple hours. Just had to talk to his trainer, his manager, but took the same deal that Eubanks was being offered. So it wasn't like Eubanks was getting wrecked over the coals. His father was just putting up so many demands that Eddie wasn't able to fulfill.
Now, is it naive of me to think of fighters? When I think of a professional fighter, I feel that to them, fighting's their job. They're so used to doing it that they'll fight anybody. They don't really care, and it's more of the management and the promoters that kind of get in the way of like, hey, no, wait a second, don't fight this guy, don't fight that guy. Do you feel that's more of that in this, or that it was that they don't want to fight Gennady?
No, absolutely not. I think that when you get to this level, the championship level, these are grown men. These are men that are making decisions for the futures of their families and of their lives. And ultimately, we all promoters, managers, and trainers, we work for the fighter. The fighter is who gets paid. The fighter is who gets into the ring and signs the contracts with the networks, and so we work for them. So if a fight isn't made, it's not because the manager or promoter didn't want it. It's because the fighter didn't want it. But of course, saying that, the promoter and the manager are going to discuss with the fighter what the best opportunities are and what the future where the future lies, and what he should and shouldn't do. But ultimately, is the fighter makes the decision.
So, with that being said, you said that you don't feel that Canelo will fight Golovkin next year. You feel it might be in 2018. Is that more of like a timing thing? You feel that Canelo's still young, he still has time, and they're kind of waiting for maybe Golovkin to get off that momentum streak that he is, to kind of look at a fight that he looks vulnerable and then go in on that?
Well, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, not necessarily for me, but for the fans, because I think it's a fight that the fans really want to see. They're anticipating a great fight, which I am too. I don't think it's a walkover fight. I think that Canelo is a warrior, and Canelo would get in there and fight and make Golovkin fight too. But I think that the business of boxing is why this fight's not happening. It's not happening today. It's not happening in September of this year, and it may not happen in September of next year. But it's got nothing to do with that he's not ready. He's ready. It's just the business of boxing is what they're basing, I think, their decision on.
No, there's been a lot of criticism about this fight, given the size of Kell Brook. I know Canelo made a quote like, hey, he criticized me for fighting Amir Khan, and now he's doing the same thing, but now he's making Brook go up to 60. I made Khan go up to 55. How would you respond to Canelo and people that bring up that point, that Golovkin's a middleweight fighting a welterweight?
Well, just like he lied about facing Golovkin when he talked after the Khan fight, he's lying about that too. He didn't face a welterweight. He faced, or junior middleweight, we faced a lightweight that got knocked out in his first try against a decent fighter was British Prescott. He got knocked out in 1 round. Then he moves up to 140 pounds and gets knocked out by Danny Garcia in 4 or 5 rounds. Then he moves up to 147. Everybody that he fights hurts him. That he fought him at 155, he probably outweighed him by 25, 30 pounds by fight time. So he could have fought him at 152. He's still going to weigh 185 by the time the fight came. We're fighting a welterweight who's never fought below welterweight. We're fighting a welterweight that's undefeated, a welterweight that doesn't know how to lose, a welterweight that's got as many knockouts as Golovkin almost does, a welterweight that is going to be fighting at 160 pounds, but probably will not be outweighed by Golovkin by more than 10 pounds by fight time. So it's totally, completely different. Like I said, he's lying about this just like he was lying about fighting us after the Khan fight.
The goal is all the belts. So is, at this point, Canelo out of the picture? Or do you want to go ahead and pursue the WBO belt, and that's the goal? Or after this, keep pursuing Canelo?
No, I think that Tom has got the plan set out to unify the titles, but we're not going to wait for anybody. We're not going to wait for Canelo. We're not going to wait for Saunders. If Saunders doesn't step up to the plate for whatever reason, Gennady's got to stay busy. He's 34 years old. If the fight with Canelo happens in 2017, he'll be 35 years old, 35 and a half years old by then. So time is not on our side. We have to continue to fight 3 times a year, and hopefully these guys step up, and if they don't, that's their business.
Last question, Abel. He's fighting Canelo, Liam Smith. Many have said that they feel that's more a competitive fight than this Brook Golovkin fight. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a very competitive fight. I also think ours is a competitive fight. Liam Smith is not as known as, say, Kell Brook is, but Liam Smith is a big guy. He's a durable guy. He's not as talented as Canelo. Canelo should win the fight, but I think Liam Smith will scare him. I think Liam Smith has got nothing to lose, as does Kell Brook. Liam Smith is bigger than Canelo. Canelo, when he fought Cotto, didn't hurt Cotto with anything that he hit him with. So is he going to be able to hurt Liam Smith? His knockouts that we've seen, Canelo's knockouts, was against Kirkland, a washed-up guy that doesn't fight very often, and Angulo, who unfortunately was coming back after a long layoff and had not done very well in his preparation. So Liam Smith could scare him. Did he beat him? Maybe not, but I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, Abel, thank you so much. When I see you and Gennady, you guys seem so much taller than from what I remember. Makes me feel short. I am short, but Abel Sanchez, of course, will be in the corner of Gennady Golovkin coming up September 10th as he fights Kell Brook over there in England on Sky Sports.